How's it going, everybody? I'm Husgap1, and today's tutorial will be the German BP-44 panzer zug, or armored train. This is part 4 of the German war train tutorial, since part 1 was the Leopold rail cannon. Then we did the BR01/BR02. Then we did the BR52 Kriegs locomotive, which we'll be using again today for the BP-44. Now there are 4 different camouflage patterns we can use. There's military gray, like this Leopold rail cannon seen over here. There's also desert, winter camouflage 1, and then winter camouflage 2. So whichever pattern you choose, you're going to need to build the entire train in the same one, unless you don't care for historical accuracy. And after I finish each car, I'll show you all 4 camouflage patterns, so that you can build each one. And before we start, I'll do a short tour. Also note that you'll need to put light underneath the track to keep bats from spawning. So first up, we've got the BP-44 version of the Panzer Jager wagon. Then we've got the BP-42 version, which has a light tank in the center. After that is the wagon. And then we have the infantry wagon, or commando wagon. It did both, according to footage that I found. And then another wagon, with only 1 turret instead of 2. Then we've got the BR52 Kriegs locomotive, with armor on the side. And then after that is the entire front half of the train repeated on the back. Alright, so we'll start off from the front. So we start off with 2 wheels wherever you want to put them, and then an extension by 6 blocks, and don't forget the buttons. Ignore this little shadow effect. They added this in 1.8.1, and it's really annoying, but we'll just have to deal with it. And now we put a plow on the front. Okay, and then the platform on top of that. And now for the buffers. Okay, and now for the tiger tank turret. Okay, I think that finishes up the first car. Now if you want to build the inside, here's what it'll look like. And it doesn't have to be exact for any of these cars, but it's just how I interpreted it. So here's the desert version. And then you already saw the gray one. Now for the winter camouflage. Here's winter camouflage 1. Basically the entire thing, but just with quartz instead of stone and sandstone. And then winter camouflage 2. So now we count off 6 blocks of space between the two wheels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then wheel. And then count a further 6 to put the second one. And now I put a large platform underneath. And now for the P38 tank that goes in the center. Alright, and that just about finishes the BP42 panzer wagon. As for the desert camo, here's what it looks like. Exact same thing, but just with sandstone instead of stone. And then for the winter camouflage versions, it'll be similarly just with quartz instead. Oh, here it is. The tank always looks the same, just about. You can use stone or stone brick, either one works. Okay, so now for the wagon. Once again, we're going to count off 6 blocks between the wheels, including the wheels within the vehicle itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then wheel. And then the platform for this car will be 14 total. For the back, we're going to leave a little doorway for infantry to move between the cars, and there's also a little armored passageway between them. If you have an iron door, you'll need to put a button here. gun. Okay, so here's what the inside can look like. If you want to add stairs and some machinery over there for the turret, then you can. Also, I suggest you put a torch inside to keep it lit. Okay, so here's the desert camo version. And now for the winter patterns. Okay, and now for the commando wagon slash infantry wagon. Now I did the same 6 block spacing that we did before. And then the platform underneath will also be similar. You don't need these 2 blocks that are right here. Oops. Alright, now these railings that I'm putting on top are optional. Okay, and that's the gray version. Here's the desert camouflage, and then I'll show you the inside as well. Okay, don't forget torches to keep it well lit and to keep bats from spawning, because they will drive you crazy if they do. And for this car, you can put in radio equipment if you want to make it the commando wagon. So here's Winter Camouflage 1, same thing but with quartz instead of stone. And then this one has the camouflaged wool. Alright, so that wraps up most of the train. Now for the other Geschützwagen. Okay, now for a couple buttons, and then we can look at the inside. Once again, you can add machinery to the turret if you like. And some final details here. Alright, and that concludes the gray version. Here's the desert pattern. And now for the winter ones. Okay, now for the BR52 Creeks locomotive. Now here you see only one tenor, but actually more often than not there would be two, one as a backup. So I'll be building one in front, just like you would see in real life. This one is spaced apart only 5 blocks away from the last wheel, unlike 6 with the usual. Okay, now for the locomotive. For the locomotive, we're going to go 4 blocks forward from the last wheel, at least for the tender. Like so. And then put 5 wheels down. There are actually 6, but the 6th one is hidden. Okay, now fill this entire little rectangle in. Okay, after you filled it in, we're going to extend it up 1 layer for 3 blocks wide. And once you reach the driving area, we're only going to do the side ones, like so. now up one more layer. If you're building this in gray, you can move the smokestack back one block and put a black one here. Or I can leave it as is and leave it right there. Now for the inside. You can spawn in a furnace that will not die out by doing /give, and then your username, and then Minecraft furnace lit. Something like that, and then it'll give you a furnace that will not die out if you're in creative. So otherwise, now we do another tender. Which will be 5 blocks away from the last wheel. And it's raining. There we are. Alright, so that completes the second tender. And basically what you do at this point is take the entire front half of the train and turn it 90 degrees around to repeat it on the back. And I only have the locomotive in 2 different camouflage patterns here, but by now you should be able to understand how to build it in the other 2. Pretty easy, just scatter the white and gray blocks around, as well as the slabs, and you'll be able to build it in any camouflage pattern. So that concludes the German war train tutorial. I'm Scap1, and thank you for watching.